welcome to Nine's Wide World of Sports and the highlights of the first match of the Spencer & Hedges World Series Cup, Australia and New Zealand. A special welcome too to New Zealand viewers who are with us for the first time this summer. This is a key game as far as these two teams are concerned. They're likely to fight out the second place in the Spencer & Hedges World Series Cup competition because I believe England will be too strong for both of them when it matters and are almost certain of going into the final. So Jeff Howarth's side and Kim Hughes' side, Hughes captaining Australia for the first time today, have everything to play for.
Over-pitched there, and Brusedga gets the scoring moving off the bat. 3 runs to Brusedga.
John Wright takes strike now to Jeff Thomson.
It's a fine shot from John Wright. Very well placed and comfortably beating Rodney Hogg into the mid-off fence.
Up goes the bat.
There's the bouncer. That's gone over the top of Rodney Marsh's head, well over the top in fact, and through to the boundary, hitting the sight board, which constitutes a boundary. That was a very fast delivery from Jeff Thomson.
Lawson to Bruce Edgar.
And just going wide of Kepler Vessels. In fact, he may have just got a hand on it.
Jeff Lawson comes in now to bowl to John Wright.
A slashing cut there from John Wright. Over the top of gully. Crashes into that third man fence. It really was well timed, that shot.
John Wright takes strike now to Jeff Thomson.
Doesn't make any difference because he finds the gap through cover. Comes down on that delivery. Puts the bat middle and off. Racing out to the boundary for 4 runs. It's a glorious shot. I just wonder, Fred, how John Wright would handle the in-swing it to him from off the leg with that stance.
Carl Rackerman comes in now and John Wright has taken strike.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. High in the air, over the top of the infield. 3 bounces into the boundary fence at square leg. Another beautiful shot. Beautifully timed. John Wright is playing magnificently. That's another 4. That's 9 fours. 36 of his runs have come in boundaries. And he now has 54.
Well, this wicket at the MCG came in for a lot of criticism last season. And certainly New Zealanders probably couldn't believe the transformation in it. Print out of John Wright's strokes. None through, really through the cover area, a couple through mid-off. He's very, very strong there. Big pull on the onside. And one clipped back with a square leg.
That's in the air. This could be out. Dyson's underneath it. He won't drop it. No one. John Dyson takes the catch, and John Wright out going for the big one to square leg. He got a bit of a top edge on that. It went high down to Dyson, who's fielding right on the boundary in front of the member section down there, and he doesn't drop many in the outfield.
And what an amazing over from Carl Rackerman. 12 runs off it, and now getting the wicket of John Wright. Just going away offside. He went for the pull, got a top edge, and John Dyson took the catch of the year last season, catching it right underneath the chin. But John Wright, certainly a very good innings from him. He's given this New Zealand side a great start. And he's out for 54, 1 for 84. And he's out, caught and bowled. Carl Rackerman striking again. His second wicket. Jeff Howarth not quite to the pitch of the ball. I don't think Carl Rackerman could believe it when he accepted that return catch from Jeff Howarth. So that's a great breakthrough by the big Queenslander. Just pitching, just short. Got a great deal of movement with that front foot of Jeff Howarth. And Carl Rackerman just bending down and taking quite a simple catch. So this has been a good breakthrough for the Australians as Howarth is out, caught and bowled Rackerman for 5 and New Zealand 2 for 89.
Footholds there. That's driven beautifully, and Thomson won't reach that one. Right off the meat of the bat again. Well, when the New Zealanders have hit them today, they've certainly stayed put.
Greg Chappell to Crow.
Oh, that's in the air. It's going out towards third man. In comes Lawson. He'll catch that. Yes, he does. And another big breakthrough there for the Australians. On that occasion, Crow trying to whip the ball on the onside, getting a top edge. It's spooned up in the air down towards third man. Lawson came in and made no mistake.
Jeff Lawson likes taking catches. This MCG took that great outfield catch to the Smiths Cowans in the 4th test, and this an equally good catch. Coming in, summing it up. Very difficult to take those elevated catches when in this bit dark background. But unfortunately for New Zealand, they lose another wicket. So Jeff Crow out for 7, Greg Chappell strikes, and 3 for 98.
Rackerman comes in to bowl to Jeremy Kearney.
And there's an edge. Rodney Marsh has taken the catch, and Carl Rackerman has picked up his 3rd wicket. Delighted Carl Rackerman. And a pretty thrilled crowd here at the MCG. Plenty of Australian flags. Jeremy Kearney, caught by Rodney Marsh.
Yes, just a nice fine nick there, and umpire had no hesitation at all in putting the finger up. And now New Zealand are 114 for 4.
There's a man down at deep backward square, but that'll do no good. It's gone over the fence on the first bounce.
4 for 128 as Rackerman begins a new over, bowling to Edgar.
And he's out LBW, yes, and I think he knew it too. Even though he had his back half turned to the umpire, Bruce Edgar quickly sneaked a little look from a lowered glance and found that umpire Rex Whitehead had given him out LBW. That looked, from here anyway, as though it would have hit middle.
Self-conscious Edgar there as he tries to whip that ball away on the leg side, hitting across the line of the ball, and that ball, I would say, would probably have hit middle and leg. So another good piece of bowling from Carl Rackerman to dismiss Edgar, 5 for 128.
That's gone. There's a big deflection. A big deflection. And the 6th New Zealand wicket goes down with John Morrison out. Port Marsh, Gold Thompson, useful delivery.
I gave the impression that ball was angled in, then cut away slightly off the wicket, or perhaps did not come in as much as Morrison expected. He was playing inside the line of the ball, and as a result got that thick edge. The Australian flags wave as Morrison departs. He is out 6 for 134.
Hadley goes for the big hit and he gets hold of it. A big hit. 1 bounce, 2 bounces into the fence.
Jeff Lawson to Richard Hadley.
It's a big hit. That could be 6. That's a massive hit. Dyson coming around. That's a beauty. 8 rows back over the one-on fence on the Melbourne cricket ground. That is a mammoth hit. And Hadley taking to Jeff Lawson, the man of the series in the test matches. Beautifully timed on drive.
A huge hit from Richard Hadley. He has this capacity to pick the right ball to hit. And he plonked it right into the member stand, back about 8 rows. A beautiful hit.
Peter Webb now facing Rodney Hogg.
Webb's got hold of that, and that's a good shot. He's pulled that forward a square. Races out to the boundary. That's a good shot. Off Thompson. Was dug in. Was inside the line, and he hooked it square.
Lawson to Peter Webb.
Webb goes and he's bowled in. Trying to drive. Ball pitched by Lawson. Good bowling. Webb enticed into the big hit down the ground. Too quick for him. Through his defence. It was a clean bowled by Lawson.
Peter Webb obviously encouraged from that previous over when he hit a boundary, looking for the big hit again, and that's just what New Zealand didn't want. They wanted someone to stick around with Hadley, someone to play a dour type of innings. Instead, Webb looking for the big drive, paid the penalty, and a good delivery from Jeff Lawson. It was up around about the stumps, and Webb out-bowled Lawson for 9 and 767.
He's hit straight. What a good hit. Straight down the ground. Thompson coming around. Doesn't cut it off. Beautifully timed straight hit by Richard Hadley. Hogg rolling the foot out. Not good running. Lance Cairns not back up. There's a chance of one, but beautifully back. Chance to run out. He's gone. Hadley will be gone. What a tragedy. Yes. Oh dear. Never ran off a misfield, but what a super bit of fielding by Kim Hughes backing up there. The throw was wild, wide. He threw himself. Made a great save. And Hadley couldn't make it. His hands kept coming. That was a super bit of backing up by the Australian captain.
I just mentioned to Bill Laurie off air before that Richard Hadley hasn't been running too well this morning, but there's certainly a single in it, I think, for the starters, Bill. But no response from Lance Cairns. But then the mishap. An old adage in cricket, you never run on a misfield. And Kim Hughes throwing it to the bowler's end. A lot of pressure on Jeff Lawson. It wasn't easy to take, but he was right behind those stumps. And out goes Richard Hadley, striving for the crease. And what a great breakthrough and a let-off for Australia. Getting Richard Hadley run out for 24, and now New Zealand 8 for 173 with 8 overs remaining.
Hogg to Cairns.
To get the throw in.
Oh, and he's dropped him. That was a great effort by Hughes, diving away to his right there and getting a right hand to it. Had he caught it, it would have been a beautiful catch.
This would have been a magnificent catch if he caught this. He's dived once again to his right, and he's done all the hard work. He's got there, but just can't hold on.
The last ball of Hogg's 8th over. And it's a great catch. Rodney Marsh has got it. A thick outside edge there from the bat of Snedden, and Rodney Marsh makes no mistake. He caught that. That's 3 or 4 inches off the ground, and it was going down and very quickly.
Great catch by Rod Marsh. As I say, the thick edge. And Rod Marsh, one hand covering first slip. Beautiful catch. Just look at the smile of satisfaction on that man's face. And that is now 9 for 181.
Lawson now to Lance Cairns.
That's it high and down the ground. Hooks is underneath it. This will be out. He's got him. So David Hooks running around there from deep mid-on takes the catch in the outfield, and Lawson looks pretty happy as he runs down the ground. So 2 wickets to Lawson. 28 runs coming from him. A good catch by David Hooks down a deep long on.
Lance Cairns just got a little bit too much underneath that delivery, but David Hooks moving into position, eyes on the ball, makes it all look oh so terribly easy. Beautiful piece of cricket. Just the hands there, the eyes on the ball, the hands cupped, and takes it absolutely superbly. Beautiful catch that. The Australians, as they leave the field, must be feeling very pleased with themselves in the finish, because New Zealand, with the great start they had, Australia must have been thinking there's 250 coming up there, but not to be.
Well, that's a complete disappointment for New Zealand to be out for 181. Even more of a disappointment is the fact that they used up only 44.5 overs. A tragedy that, with Cairns the last man out for 7. And the bowling figures for Australia: the best bowler was Rackerman, 4 for 39. Best both in wickets and in the way he bowled. I thought he was in great form today, obviously recovered from his injury. Lawson 2 for 28, Thompson 1 for 39, Hogg 1 for 32, and Greg Chappell an accurate 10 overs, 1 for 22. So Australia needed 182 to win at 3.64 per over. We pick up play now in the first over. No runs on the board. Richard Hadley is the bowler from the members' end. He's coming in to bowl to Kepler Wessels, and in the commentary box it's Ian Chappell and Dennis Lilly.
It's a good delivery, that one from Hadley, moving back into the left-hander. A very confident shout from the New Zealanders.
Very good ball. It swung back into Kepler Wessels, but I think it hit him high on the roll of the pad and probably was going over the top.
The edge going through about third slip. But it's going to beat Chatfield into the fence and the first boundary in the Australian innings.
That's a better shot from John Dyson. Racing away to the cover boundary. Great stroke that. Lance Cairns has been tying Kepler Wessels down on leg stump, as indeed has every other bowler. But you just do not give him that one wide of the off stump unless you've got some protection away back on the offside.
The bell by Snedden again.
Good shot. Starting to flow now, Kepler Wessels. But only outside the off stump. And beaten the field again. Well, whatever pre-match plans New Zealand may have made at their team meeting last night, they're certainly not bowling to them at the moment. They started off doing it perfectly with Hadley bowling superbly to Kepler Wessels.
New Zealand captain has gone pretty defensive now. It is Jeff. No slips. And you can't bowl there. You can't bowl there to this fella. Wessels, no way. Leg and middle's the only place to tie him down. You bowl somewhere around about that off stump and it's bingo.
Cairns to Wessels.
That's a great shot. Kepler Wessels off the back foot. Found the gap. Races out to the point boundary. That's a glorious shot. He's great player. The loose ball was Kepler. It was just a fraction short.
Funny bowling with the in swingers. That one's hit straight down the ground. Beautifully hit by Dyson. That'll be 6. Yes, just over the top and taken in the crowd. And a big hit from John Dyson.
Hadley to Wessels.
It's in the air, but there's no gully and it's racing away down to third man. It's 4. Wessels again drives straight through Edgar. He hit that one very hard. That happened to Border earlier on in the day and it's gone for 4. That's a beautifully timed shot that by Kepler Wessels, and that ball brings up his half century. Kepler Wessels was all at sea early on in his innings, but the shot to bring up his 50 was probably the shot of his innings. Beautiful cover drive. It's hit with tremendous power, found its way through Edgar in the covers, and 50 for Kepler Wessels, 102 minutes, 72 balls faced. That's a good delivery. And again there's a mix-up, and this could be a run-out if he hits the stumps. He doesn't. Dyson said yes, Wessels came, and there was a mix-up. They eventually went through, and had Dyson had his stumps knocked down directly by that throw, I think it was from right, he would have been out. Yes, a real schmozzle then, Tony, the running between the wickets, a hesitation. John Wright came in. He knew that as soon as he picked it up, he had plenty of time to assess the situation, and his throw just missed the stumps, but John Dyson certainly would have been struggling to have got in.
Chatfield to Kepler Wessels.
Oh, there's a mix-up again, and another shot at the stumps. The bails are off, but that time Wessels getting back in. Well, the Australian running between the wickets has deteriorated in the last 10 minutes or so. They've had 3 close calls in a matter of 2 overs. Yes, and it's amazing since Chatfield and Hadley have come back that suddenly there's a few problems with running between the wickets. Unfortunately, the keeper not taking it all that cleanly and then dropping it before he took the bails off too.
Hadley to John Dyson.
He's hit that over the top, straight down the ground. That's a beautiful shot by John Dyson. 3 bounces into the deep mid-on boundary. 1 6 and 3 4s for John Dyson in this innings. Picked that one up nicely, just short of a length from Richard Hadley. No outfield, perfectly safe shot. This outfield at the MCG, very quick at the moment. Melbourne going through water restrictions. Not a great deal of length in the grass out there. Good shot by John Dyson. Hadley wouldn't have enjoyed that. And that too, straight down the ground. The ball running away, once again down to deep mid-on. Will it get cut off? No, it hasn't. So consecutive 4s there to Dyson, off the bowling of Hadley, and the Australians loving it. That also brings up John Dyson's 50, and what a tidy knock it's been. A very good double for the Australians. Firstly, Kepler Wessels getting the 50 and followed very quickly by John Dyson. Another good shot, Hadley coming in, straying onto the middle stump, and Dyson straight down the ground. Split the mid-off and mid-on fieldsman right in the middle.
John Dyson now faces Chatfield.
Dyson going over the top, or attempting to go over the top. John Wright is underneath it and makes a real mess of it in the end. Had plenty of time to get there, but made a real nonsense of the job in the end. And Dyson was able to pick up 3 runs from that shot. Australia none for 123.
Snedden comes in now to a couple of vessels.
Jeff Crow has a ping at the stumps, and that gets through the fieldsman attempting to back up. That's John Morrison, and it results in 5 runs for Australia.
Well, it was certainly worth a throw. Would have been a very near thing if he'd hit the wickets. But unfortunately for New Zealand, resulted in 5 instead of 1.
Coney to Vessels.
Magnificently placed shot, and that's been one of the highlights of Kepler Wessels' innings today. He's placed the ball beautifully through the offside. That's his 9th boundary, and his innings also includes a 5.
Snedden comes in now to a couple of Vessels.
Once again, Kepler Wessels picking that gap in the offside field. It's been very strong there. That's his 11th boundary. Brings up the Australian 150. None for 152.
And he's done him. That's the spot. It's just like an action replay, Martin Snedden. After all this time, someone's got one through, I think, via bat or pad onto off stump.
Well, if Kepler Wessels is keeping a record of the number of times he's bowled off his pads, then I think he must be just about filling the first page of that record book. Because again, he is bowled with the ball flipping the flap of the pad, going on to the leg stump, but nonetheless, Wessels has made a valuable contribution to this Australian total, which stands at 1 for 154.
Snedden, and John Dyson is taking strike. That's a fine stroke, beautifully timed. Good footwork that by John Dyson, and perfect timing. Coney to John Dyson. Richard Hadley. Great effort. That's the most difficult of all catches, and I think he just got his fingertips to it. I'd like to swear to it because he has his back to us here, but you'll get a better view of it as you watch this replay. No, didn't quite reach, so we can't put it down as a chance. Just bounced a matter of a couple of inches in front of Richard Hadley. Snedden to Greg Chappell. Chappell's gone. Only a handful of runs needed, and Greg Chappell goes. Caught and bowled Martin Snedden. Dyson is 71 not out. 182 is the target, and it's now 2 for 168. Beautiful stroke by Dyson. And he just strayed down round about leg stump there. It was a glorious shot. So Jeff Howth is marshalling his forces now. There'll be some post-mortems in the New Zealand camp this evening because Australia already have batted for more overs than New Zealand, and they haven't reached the 182 needed for victory. New Zealand having gone through only 44.5 overs. Here's Bill Laurie now in the commentary box, and with him is Fred Tribb.
Thank you, Richie. New Zealand were always 20 runs short. Possibly 30 runs short. They didn't carry through what they promised when they made that marvellous start. John Wright and Bruce Edgar, 84 runs on the board in something like the first 16 or 17 overs. Played some superb cricket. And then I'm afraid that the New Zealand middle order batting fell away. At one time they must have been thinking in the region of 230 to 250 the way they were going. And in the finish they struggled to get to 181. Just picking up a quick single there. And in the process, New Zealand didn't even use up their full 50 overs. They still had 5 overs and 1 ball left when they were all out for 181.
That's true, Fred, and also their fielding's been mediocre today. They've been a little bit sloppy in the field. Quite a few overthrows, several chances of run-outs gone begging. One drop catch by John Wright. Didn't get his hands to it, but should have been caught. So overall, a disappointing day, which started so well for them. It's back to Hughes, who gets a thick outside edge down to Hadley at third man. Ewan Chatfield was by far the best of the New Zealand bowlers. 10 overs, 4 maidens, no wicket for 18. Martin Sneddon has chipped in for the 2 wickets. Lanscan 7 overs, 1 for 26. Attempted sweep shot by Dyson. Very slow in swinger.
An attempted leg break, Bill, by the look of things, from Lance Cairns. It bounced 3 or 4 times before it got to wicketkeeper Webb. Sometimes you watch Lance Cairns, he does drag his fingers across the seam of the ball in an attempt to bowl what I would term as a genuine leg cutter. Yeah, he did it again there. Just rolling the fingers across, trying to snatch something out of it. I think that New Zealand will be terribly disappointed with this effort because they did everything so well, and then the unfortunate run out took place with Richard Hadley just when they seemed to be fighting their way back into the game. The old saying, don't take runs on misfields, and it proved the undoing of Hadley. Another run there for Kim Hughes. Australia 2 for 177.
And Richard Hadley from the members' end to the Australian captain. Who's 2. Oh, he gets it away nicely off his tail. He's picked it up over square leg, racing out to the boundary. Egg gives chase, but that's a good shot. New to the crease, Kim Hughes picked it up beautifully. Hadley just straying, reached 43,000 people here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground today. Australia played very well.
Good shot this by Kim Hughes, drifting down the leg side a little bit from Hadley, and then he picked it up and over the field that had been brought in to try to stop the quick single, of course. A good cricket by the Australian captain.
Well, the rate figures for the crowd were fed for 45,137, so that's a tremendous crowd here for this first game in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup.
Yes, they really like their cricket down here in Melbourne, Bill, and it's a wonderful response to this first game. And the New Zealanders, I'm sure, are out to impress in this first match, to let them know that they're a good side and let themselves down a little.
The turning point in the match was when Carl Rackerman picked up John Wright. They were no wicket for 84, and then Rackerman struck 3 times after that. Edgar, Howarth and Coney, and that broke the back of the New Zealand batting. Then on it was a procession, and they were all out for 181 off 44.5 overs. Didn't really give their bowlers a big enough target. Australia 1-1 to win. Hadley the bowler, going for it, scampering through, and it's there. Victory by 8 wickets for Australia. A very good start for Kim Hughes, the new Australian captain. And that's a good effort by his team today. They were in trouble in the first hour. They hit back. A very good opening stand by Dyson and Vessels. John Dyson carrying his bat. The first wicket fell at 154. The wicket of Vessels for 79. Chappell fell at 168 for 3. And then they carried on the victory, and the captain congratulating John Dyson for a fine knock.
Well, no better way to start off a new captaincy career for Kim Hughes than to have such a comprehensive win over New Zealand. I thought he did very well in the field this morning because New Zealand got away to a great start with that opening partnership of Wright and Edgar. 54 and 38 to those two players, and that was a splendid performance that had 84 on the board in only 16 overs, and it looked as though they might run away with this match. And then Hughes marshalled his bowlers and set his fields well. He was out of the 15-over restriction at that stage. New Zealand went on to 181. Some fine bowling from Rackerman, 4 for 39, and Lawson 2 for 28, and Greg Chappell 1 for 22 from a full 10 overs. And then New Zealand, then Australia rather, needed just 182 to win. They made it in the 47th over. And a great start for Kim Hughes and for the Australian side, having regained the Ashes from England in that fascinating series. Now they're one up in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup. Just a reminder that the Australians made 2 for 182 after New Zealand had been dismissed for 181.